morning, feeble Matt.
Ma'am, all right, coming in. What's going on, man?
Matt only got 7.5 hours of sleep, so he's feeling a little under the weather
I
today.
have 3 little kids.
Been whining since I got here.
My
life is so hard.
Well, what's going on? You been watching the Winter Olympics?
A little bit. What did I see last night? I saw there is a girl. There's a skier and an ice skater. They're both born and raised in the U.S. The headline said denounce their U.S. citizenship. I'm not sure that's the case. One of them anyway. And is now competing for China, right? And it's the figure skater, and she really did not do well. And it's kind of a tough spot because the Chinese media basically, literally in air quotes, it said she's a disgrace to their country. And then they start hammering her like her Mandarin's not good, and she's not authentically Chinese. And I'm like, oh God, I mean, imagine denouncing your home country to go compete for what you consider to be your mother country. You have a couple of mishaps, and then they hate you too. It's like you don't have a home anymore, Right.
Well, just to win a gold medal.
Yeah.
A lot of people do it. Everything I've been watching, the Canadians been winning.
They're good at those winter sports.
Why do you think they do that? Like, how come they're so good?
Because it's cold up there all the time.
Do you think it's because they bring their A game?
Oh my God. Are you serious? Did we just put the script here, folks?
Got him.
Yeah, that's dumb. I mean, come on. Like, comment if you want. That was a bad joke.
Whatever.
Come on, bro.
Whatever.
It's probably bad because you caught me with it, but I'm just saying I don't like the joke. Look,
because it's not yours.
Yeah, that's the worst part about that joke is it wasn't mine.
It is a terrible joke.
Matt got me yesterday. He's like, you know what generation that Forrest Gump was in? And I'm like, I think he was a boomer. It would have been maybe even older. And he's like, Gen A. I'm like, really? So anyway, it's dad joke.
I really more like that you were actually going to answer my question.
Well, that's when you know.
You were really thinking.
That's when you know. That's how I got you with the whole franchise concept about men with ED, and you've bought it hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, it's insulting when you get burned, So I got it yesterday, but I thought it was hilarious. Anyway, if that gives you, that's our comic relief, you guys. We are running and gunning over here. We're selling a ton of franchises. We're getting folks open, getting them up to speed, and that's a lot of work. So if our only relief from that is a dad joke every now and then, it could be worse. We could be having, Wolf of Wall Street style parties in here, but we're not. We're just telling dad jokes. We're clean, we're all American, and we're trustworthy. Take that to the bank. I'm running for office, by the way.
I hear you, man. All right.
I'm running for treasurer of Roswell City Council.
Speaking of getting some work done, I mean, you're been an entrepreneur for a very long time. So I figured today we could talk about 3 basic tips on entrepreneurship and kind of how you do it.
Yeah, sounds good to me. And it is true. I mean, it's like three decades of, full on entrepreneurship. First of all, it's hard to stay in small business for 30 years. I mean, I think the percentage of small businesses that last more than 5 that are not franchised, and I was not then, is very, very small. And so it's something to consider. And I think right now entrepreneurship is really sexy. I think the image of entrepreneurship on Instagram or whatever that may be paints it in a very positive light. But I think it's early innings for some folks that are doing it. And I think that if anything, I'm like that guy now, right? Where I've done it for so long, I can look back and give people perspective on maybe some of the things that are seemingly popular now. Do they work? Do they not? Sure. And these are just like skill sets and habits that help you as an entrepreneur. That would be the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
So what you got on your list for the 3 that we've talked about?
Well, the first one is plan your day.
Yeah. I mean, this is a really simple trick. And I mean, somebody asked me about it the other day, like, do you still do this? And I had talked about it. It had to be 7-8 years ago in a talk I was doing. So it must have stuck as a useful strategy. But I do still do it. I just have less things on my list. And this was the thing. So either the night before, which is difficult for me, I'm not really productive like at night. I'm better in the morning. Or early morning, I would grab an index card and write down 5 things that I was going to accomplish that day. Mm-hmm. And they had to be done come hell or high water. And what that did for me and what it will do for anyone is it gives you a purposeful action and a thing to do that day. Because as we all know, like once you get here to the office or once your day starts, a bulk of your day is going to be spent, playing catch and responding to other people's needs, whether it be things that come up, emails, whatever those things are. And so if you put a few things on your list that you're absolutely going to do that day, it just really helps with getting them done. And they don't have to be big. I mean, what I find is like they can be very small things. Like, okay, today I will call this vendor and say thanks for, doing a great job and expediting the shipping process to our new franchisee. Whatever that is, just little things. But if you think about the sum of 5 small things a day, some are big, some are not, but they have to happen and they're purposeful and they're going to get done. 5 things a day, every single day, because it happens on the weekends as well. I even work personal stuff in there, like, call this, call your sister, or whatever those things are, right? But I mean, the sum of like 5 purposeful things done every day before you start playing catch and reacting to everyone else's needs, it's very, very powerful. I would say, and I did that, all the way through, because we're going to get to like, run your mornings, which will have some comic relief, I'm sure, with how all the people do that these days. But even when I was in your stage, Matt, with like young kids and stuff, it was good to be like, all right, these are the things I'm doing for sure today.
Sure.
Yeah, it was usually work related, but because when you have a wife and kids, like you are reacting and you're there for support. That's a different role than like, hey, you're driving the programming and customer experience for a worldwide franchise. It's like, okay, that's a different ballgame. You've got to be organized, right, with your thoughts. At home, it's like you're just there for support.
Yeah, I mean, it's being in seats where I've been more of kind of running a business, like it's very easy to be what I would describe just paralyzed.
Yeah.
You have so much stuff, and if you don't have anything written down, you're like, I don't know where to start. And if you just don't have anything planned, you literally run your whole day, and you're like, I didn't do anything.
Right. I mean, you come in, and I think a lot of people do this. Certainly, if you're working for a big company where you can hide a little bit, where you can go in and you check your emails and you take a break and you're hanging out at the coffee, station, gossiping a bit, get back to your desk, check your social media. It's lunch, come back. I mean, it's the amount of work that actually gets done is
that not a good day?
It depends on your lens on a good day, I guess. That's an awesome day. I didn't do shit. But if you look at like because we're a relatively new to franchising company, all of us have a lot of responsibility. And so we all are, and you can speak to whether you believe this or not, I think all of us have to have some entrepreneurial spirit. Like you can't be on a team that's emerging in a new vertical like franchising, where there's a lot of things that are happening and a lot of them fall into different people's buckets, right? It's not always so clear cut.
No.
You almost have to be, even though you could say you're not the entrepreneur, you kind of have to be at least entrepreneurial to be on that small team. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Because you're never, like you said, you're never staying in one lane. You're getting thrown all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. And rightly so. It's like, hey, you've got a great skill set. I can borrow you in this project or that project, right? It just depends on where the need is. So, but the easiest technique for me, you guys, is what I just said. It's like grab an index card, do it in the morning, write down the things that you're going to do that day, no matter what, and do those things first if you can before your day gets started. And again, just type an email, create that sales script. I mean, I've seen you doing it. Like one thing that, props to you is that you're always ahead thinking of what we need, right? So I'll come in and you're like, hey, I shot a whole ton of videos on that one series of this one process in our business for the platform for franchising, because I thought we had it all written, but I thought it'd be better if I did full-on videos for it. I'm like, sweet. So that's what I mean. It's like, you're proactively moving the ball forward. I mean, it's one of our core values, drive change. So it's like,
absolutely.
So yeah, so that's it. I would say that's been the most impactful for me for organizing my day, is just write down and don't make it too big. Don't put 15 things. Don't put things that you can't accomplish in that day either. Like it might be read a chapter. It might be write a chapter. It might be write 2 sales scripts for a manual. It might, whatever that may be, keep it digestible. And you'll find that when you're ticking them off on a daily basis, you'll pick up momentum, right? Yeah. So make them, bite-sized, I would say.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Let's get to number 2, which is run your morning.
Yeah. This morning routine thing has gotten so popular. It's like, I joke because, I mean, you know me, what I do in the morning, I literally get up, drink coffee, start working. It's like there's not I don't do like a meditation and a cold shower and a whirlpool and a kombucha and a foam roll and, a gratitude journal and then another journal. And then it's like, God, I mean.
It's 1:00 in the afternoon.
Well, exactly. I think, and if I'm honest, I think that in a lot of ways that can become a distraction,
right,
to just doing the shit you want to do. Because who doesn't want to spend 3 hours in deep self-work? And I'm using this voice because that's what it feels like on the inside.
To me, that sounds terrible anyway.
Well, exactly. I don't like it in my brain that much anyway. That's what I'm trying to do, get out of it and do other things. So for me, I mean, and everything's different, but I will tell you, I've heard other people talk about this. So my buddy Alex Ramosi, that he did a post on this recently, and it's like it created a lot of comments and engagement, and a lot of it was like, oh yeah, well, you just keep doing that, and you'll see, you're only 30, you're going to get burnt out. Well, take it from the friggin' old guy. Not true. Like, I've tried all of those things. I've tried the journaling and the this and the anything to like make me better as a leader, because like I don't want to be the thing that's putting the brakes on our whole business, right? So like as I grow, we grow, you grow, we all do it, right? So believe me when I tell you I've tried it all. None of that shit works for me. And again, everybody's different. But like if I spent time taking an oatmeal bath, a cold shower, a hot shower, a sauna, I mean, all the 500 things that people do to string together, I don't even want to lose an hour to that stuff.
Tell me you haven't done an oatmeal bath.
I just did. Feel my skin. Feel how soft my arms are. Buttery smooth. Yeah. I mean, again, if it works for you, great. I would just, again, from experience, in hindsight, and looking at some of the folks that are, building these amazing morning routines, I would say make sure you really stress test the idea that, are you really doing these things because they make the rest of your day more productive, or is it a distraction from getting to the things that need to be done? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense.
And I do laugh. I remember our buddy Eric Cressy posted one time. He's like, all you folks, with these 2-hour morning routines, wait till you have 3 kids. So
ain't no routine.
Right. So to you, you'd have to, and then it's like, well, I wake up every morning at 3:00 so I can read my journals. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, like sleep's good too. So why don't you sleep for a couple more hours? Like, right. And then just get up and get to work. I mean, what are you doing? Like, I know I'm real basic, and I know I'm just cut, I cut straight to it, but like, I'm not going to wake up at 3 a.m. so that I can do all these routines before my kids wake up. If that works for you, more power to you. For me, get up, coffee, work.
Yeah. All right, cool. Sounds good. All right, the last one, number 3, review your day.
Yeah, this one is important to me, and it might just be my own personality, but I think people that do review their day, I think it's important in the sense that it's a Stoic philosophy. It's like one of the quotes from one of the famous Stoics is like review your day, and I think it's good to sit down at the end of the day. And to your point earlier, you were like, oh yeah, like was that a good day when you went to work and you're at the corporate office or whatever, and we were joking about all the things that happened. I think when you sit down at the end of the day, it's nice to review and like, did you do your best, right? Because for me, I can torture myself, and I look at it as a positive, but like whatever, say what you want about it. But for me, I look at like every interaction, because it's like, we're running and gunning, right, in a good way. But like if somebody doesn't do their job, I'm literally wearing the shirt that says do your job. That's irritating. And so sometimes my reactions can be dead on blunt and like off-putting. And then yeah, whatever. So then later in at night, I'm just thinking, okay, I could have handled that better, And so like, that's what I mean. Did I do everything that I could today to help myself and my team? Or would I have the best interactions with my kids or my wife, or whatever those things are, right? I think it's important to review your day. And I don't write anything down. I think it's just, if you just have that lens on your life where at the end of every day, you review what you did. Did you do your 5 things? Did you do your oatmeal bath, whatever the hell you're doing in the morning, right? But it also, like, how did you treat people? Could you have handled interactions better? Should you have filled in some gaps? Did you spend too much time on social media? Did you know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that.
When do you do this self-reflection time?
It just happens organically. Usually, like, because it takes me a minute to fall asleep, and I'm usually laying in bed, and for me, it's like this frenetic, like, brainwave activity where I'm just like, oh, God, that sucked. I mean, it like pains me to think about interactions I've had where I didn't present myself as my best, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
not from an image standpoint, but you just know, like, okay, if you have an effect on people, I mean, you know these things, like a positive word for somebody can go a long way,
sure,
but it can go equally as long if you say something negative or off-putting. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, all right, well, did I do my best today as a leader? Did I do the work that I was supposed to do? Did I treat people the right way? Whatever those things are, I think it's just important to continue to do that.
No, it's great. It's good stuff.
So yeah, that's it. At the end of the day, those are very simple concepts, but again, it comes from 30 years in the trenches. And one of our core values is our most important one, I would say, is KISS. So keep it simple, stupid, is just like, pare things down. And I think, to me, if I can just do those 3 things, that puts me in a pretty good spot day over day.
Well, you made it 30 years.
I know. Here's to 30 more.
Keep it up.
I'll be old as dirt there, Matty. All right. And tune in next week for, again, the reversal of fortunes, where I will be telling actually funny dad jokes. I apologize for Matt's
still upset.
feeble attempt
fell
today.
Right into
we
it.
will catch you guys next week. Peace.